Greetings YouTube, time for another crafting project. So I have this old tool handle. I have no idea what it was from. It was broken off of something. I picked it up cheap. It's some kind of cast metal. I'm not sure 100% what kind of cast metal. I really don't know. And is it magnetic? It is. It's steel. So it is steel. I don't know what quality of the steel it is. It could just be one grade above iron for all I know. It's solid and it's pretty hefty. And what I'd like to do is clean up this end and then mount a couple of these on it. So to get me in that start in that direction, I have drawn this line and I plan on cutting this off. And then I'm probably going to round this bit over so it looks a little bit nicer. And then, if I'm going to move that right up, it's kind of like that, and kind of like this. So I end up with the holes probably in the, I don't know, I may line it up the back edge. I don't know, we'll see how that looks. Or I may just line up the holes in the middle of the handle itself and then bolt the whole thing together. I'm hoping I have bolts here at the house that I can use because I'm filming this during the COVID-19 social distancing issue, so I would like to not have to go back out. These are a number of projects that I can do around the house with stuff that I've already got. So I may, once I get the handle the right shape, I may have to open these holes up a little bit if I don't have the right size. I know I have one size up from this. I think I've got some 1/4-20s kicking around, and I don't think that's a 1/4-20 hole. I think that's just a smidge under. That looks like more like a 3/16 to me. I could be wrong. But I have vernier calipers, so I can measure that if I want. So this looks to be like a pretty simple build. It's going to be a heavy hitter because this is solid steel. So even though it's only going to have two teeth, so to speak, it is definitely going to hit like a truck because there's just a lot of weight behind it. So first up is going to be taking this out of the way. That's probably really loud. I apologize. And then get my blade, get my cut-off blade into my angle grinder and cut that off because this will not fit into my chop saw. It would be really nice if it fit in my chop saw because that would be a really fast way of cutting it, but it won't fit into my chop saw, so it is what it is. Because the chop saw was really designed for cutting things in this direction. So yes, that's the first step. And here we are at the next stage of the process. I got this cut off, got this rounded, I kind of like it. I did have to open up these holes because I do have some hardware kicking around that I just found. So this is a 1/4-20, so these holes are now designed for a 1/4-20. I think I forgot to mention that these things right here are the teeth from a harvester. So the kind of thing that you would pull behind a tractor or something to harvest grains. These are teeth from one of those. I picked them up at an antique shop for I think $1 a piece. I think they might have been on sale that day. I may have paid 50 cents a piece for them. And I've used 3 of them, I think, in a build already. They were attached to a racquetball, so I made a racquetball paddle. So I kind of made a pick axe kind of thing out of them, and now they're going to end up being in this kind of a war club kind of thing. So now I'm going to set these the way I want them, and I think I'm going to move. I think I want that lined up like that, and I'm gonna just clamp this in my vise and then just drill straight through this with my hand drill, because I think that might be easier than using my drill press. I'm not sure, because I have a lot more clamping options with my vise. It's a lot more dynamic. So that's going to be what I'm going to try next. And once I get one hole done, I will pin it in place with one of the screws and then do the next one. Yep, so that's the next step. Well, there are all the holes done. I've only put 3 of the screws in because I now need to take, or bolts rather, I now need to take it apart because I want to sharpen this up, both to put a better edge on them and to give it a shinier look for the contrast between the rusted metal and the shinier edge. But I'm really quite pleased with how well this is coming together, and I lucked out in that these bolts I'm using are the exact length because they're, oops, like almost perfectly flush. So that's just awesome. I think there might be a very slight taper to this. I'm not positive. It may be straight, but I'm not sure. Or the bolts just could be slightly different lengths. But so yeah. So take this apart, hone these up, and then do the final assembly. So there we are, a completed project. I even swept the floor, so that would be nice and tidy. Because apparently I forgot to sweep the floor the last project because it had wood chips on it. I didn't use any wood for this project. This was an all metal project. So here we go. This is the handle, and again I have no idea what it came from. It was something I picked up really cheap because it was a broken handle, and the person's like looking at me like, "Why do you want that?" And I'm like, "I'm going to weaponize it." And he just kind of looked at me, and well, I did. I did indeed weaponize it. And I like the contrast of the silver with the overall nice rusty patina. That was, who knows how old these things are. These are definitely antiques. This could be vintage. I don't think it's antique, but these are very old. They don't really use teeth like this anymore in harvesters. But I think they're very cool looking, and they're very versatile. And the nice thing about this particular project is that I can disassemble this if I ever would like to use these teeth someplace else in another project. And I still have the handle. I can always reassemble it at a later date. So now I'm going to go show my wife, and she'll be like, "Oh, that's just lovely, dear." She just doesn't appreciate these weapon builds as much as I do. Well, I hope you folks have appreciated this one. It was fun. It was a pretty fast process. I think this whole thing took me like an hour to put together. It took me longer to figure out what I wanted to do today, because again, I'm scrounging through my shop looking for projects at the moment, and this is the first one that struck me, that I thought, hey, I haven't used this handle yet, and I've got these teeth, and bingo, here we are. So there will be a link down below to my DeviantArt and to my Instagram. I'll have pictures of this on both of them. Thank you for joining me. I hope that you've enjoyed this build. I think I'm just going to call this a steel war club, or is it a bladed mace? I don't know. I'll think of a name.